Welcome to Floating Leaf Tea Podcast. I'm Showen.
And I am Noah.
Oh, today the rhythm is a little bit different.
Yeah. I listened to myself. I made that song last week. I just thought it was so good, and I'm trying to popularize it.
Oh,
I'm trying to go big.
Forgot. That's awesome! I already forgot about that song.
Oh, just the song is I am Noah.
That was it.
Well, I made a whole song, but that's the idea. That's the motif. That's the most important part.
Oh yeah, and then you make the kind of the sound for the music.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So today I hope actually, and it's actually a very good hope that it's our last podcast that is recorded
remotely,
distantly.
Yeah.
Remotely.
Yeah,
and
me too. Me too.
Yeah, and I seriously hope that our next podcast will be in the same room drinking the same pot of tea.
It should be, if everything goes right.
Which means Noah is getting ready to come back to Seattle.
Yes, in less than a week, in a few days actually. Getting on the airplane on Wednesday, and right now it's Sunday where I am.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What a journey, huh?
Yep, that's for sure.
And today we are going to actually drink Baozhong. We somehow didn't get it on the lineup of our podcast. I don't think so. So far
Not
with
this year,
with the new teas, and I don't know why it doesn't get on our podcast lineup because so strange. We don't do it, and what am I trying to say? Anyway, I think Baozhong is a little bit. I'm really tired too. Baozhong it's good. It's good this year. Better than usual.
It's a particularly good season is another way to say that. It's a really good season for Baozhong.
It's a good season.
The weather hit just right. And we'll get into the story a little bit later, but the Chen Jr., who is in charge of the tea making, did a great job with all the teas. So yeah, we're really happy with all the Baozhongs.
Yeah, it's really good. Even that when I remember when I tried like the Farmer Choice, when they arrived at Seattle, I tried for the first time. I was like, dang, that's really good. And then the competition style, Baozhong, tried for the first time, feel it was good. Try a second time with a customer, and I was like, wow, that's really good. That was my response that day.
They did a really good job this season. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the weather just hit perfectly. Usually when you go, in my experience so far, I'll go and I'll ask people how the tea season was, and they'll say, "Oh, not as much tea as usual," and that's what they say every single year.
Yeah.
And actually this year they said there's like 20 or 30% more tea production than usual. So the weather was just perfect for people in Pinglin, in the Baozhong producing area, which is awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But somehow they don't have enough volume for us. I think because when you went into Choose Tea, they were like super busy to sort out the teas and stuff, I think.
Yeah. And I asked them not to blend anything. So I was buying smaller lots, and then I have actually a few different small lots of tea that I'm selling separately rather than blending them together, because generally I like the taste of single harvest.
Lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Let me heat up the water again, and let's drink the tea.
Cool. Sounds good.
So today we are going to drink the 2021 Spring Farmer's Choice Baozhong. And we both just put the dry leaves in a warm gaiwan, and it smells really sweet.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing actually.
Oh, cool. Even though we are brewing tea a little bit differently, we smell the same thing. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it smells really sweet. And there's a little bit of like a grain sweetness and a little bit of fruit
Yeah, I smell more fruit sweetness, but I won't call it fruity yet.
Yeah, yeah.
Just on the smell.
It actually smells a little bit almondy, like almond
Almond?
extract or marzipan.
Marzipan for me normally show up in a more competition style Baozhong teas.
Yeah, yeah, usually. Me too.
Yeah, but I kind of can see what you are saying actually. That more like underneath the sweet, fruitiness, sweet almost. The thing is, so I always say I cannot identify flower bouquet, right? Not even just what kind of flower. It's just like generally flower. I'm not very sure. I actually identify more fruit than flower.
Yeah.
And so the other day I was taking a walk and I smell actually a flower.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is oolong. that is high mountain oolong. And damn it, what's that flower's name? It's like a vine, and the flowers are like this big. It can be kind of a little bit yellowish or white, and it smells really sweet.
Oh, you mean honeysuckle?
Honeysuckle, yes.
Yeah.
So I guess then yes, high mountain oolong is floral.
It smells like honeysuckle.
Yes, but I somehow identify the sweetness of honeysuckle as fruit. Yeah, it smells like fruit to me.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I think my nose is messed up.
No, I think it makes sense. Like honeysuckle is a little bit more on the sweet and juicy side for a flower. It's not those really bright like jasmine or gardenia.
I want to smell gardenia. Yeah, and also lemon flower.
Oh, lemon flower, yeah.
Yeah, it smells actually really good. Almost, actually, I think one time I smelled it at a nursery.
Yeah.
And I was like walking around in the nursery and I smelled some sort of flower. And I was like, that's tea processing. That's tea processing smell. So I follow the smell. I just have to figure out what kind it was. And it was a lemon tree flower in a nursery.
Crazy.
So anyway, let's come back to this farmer choice Baozhong. Yeah, super fruit kind of a sweetness to me. So maybe it's flower then, I don't know. The broth is... the thing is, I think this year, Baozhong's broth for me, there's something extra going on. Because in the past, I like Baozhong tea in like hot day. Because the body is a little bit too thin for my taste. And yet it's very straightforward and very beautiful, straightforward kind of a tea. And so I think like put it in a jar or something and then take it out in a hot summer day. It's perfect. But today, like this season, I think Baozhong tea, I can actually sit down and drink it like in a Gongfu tea brewing session because I think there's something extra, something a little bit more rich going on in a Baozhong tea this season.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a few different things changing this season. On the farm.
Let's talk about it.
So it's hard to identify if it's the weather, which it definitely has a big impact, or the maker.
Yeah. So Farmer Chen, what a delightful man. I met Farmer Chen in 2005 when I first started the tea business. Tea friend of mine, Mr. Chai, brought me to see...
Which I think is a perfect name for someone that does tea business, by the way. Mr. Chai.
Mr. Chai?
Yeah, sorry.
Not a chai, deal.
I know.
Brought me to see Farmer Chen, and I will always remember that day. Farmer Chen is a small man, small frame, But when you look at him closely, it's just like pure muscle because he work in the field all the time. And he's just like super tough person, but very tiny, small man. And very, very delightful person. He just have that joyful energy, and it just corresponds so well with Baozhong tea and with pinning. Pinning for me, like I mean, in the previous episodes, that when we compare pinning and Dongdi Mountain, for example, and some high mountain area, each place just have a very specific feeling, and pinning feels very green, open, and relaxing to me. And it's just like Farmer Chen, very open, very joyful, and very easygoing. And I remember that year so well. It's because before 2005, I think I hadn't been back to Taiwan for 2 years or something like that, and I really miss Taiwan. And so the moment when I step in the airport, even like when you just like walk on that tube, that the tube from the airplane to the airport, you already can smell that humility. You can feel it. And I was just like so excited. I was like, I'm in Taiwan. And then to be up in the mountain with the farmer. So what happened is we sat down and have some tea together. And then he started and said, hey, I think you guys are here also to see tea fields. And I was just like, totally. And he said, let me take you to see my field, one of my fields. And I was just so excited to do that, right? Because it's like my first tea buying trip. And to be in a tea field is just means so much to me. And I remember that day, it was May, and one of the May days, and hot, already pretty hot, right? Compared to Seattle. And the humidity in the air, the scent, and the birds. And I kind of just like absorb everything, in my mind, and just like, feel nostalgic and feel like just so wonderful to be back in Taiwan again. And I remember we were walking on the trail to go up to his field, and then he walked in front of me. And suddenly, because I was so absorbed in my own, thing, like the scent, the feeling, the sounds and stuff. And Farmer Chen just suddenly stopped in front of me. And I think I almost bumped into him. And he turned and looked at me. He said, I love this. I love this weather. It makes me sweat. And he just turned around. And just kept walking. And I will... that's him. I will always remember that day.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
really
adorable.
Nice. Yeah. And so I go back to see him in a yearly basis to drink tea and buy tea from him. And when I can bring customers to see him, we always had a wonderful experience with him. Yeah. And I remember one year I asked him, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I asked him, hey, Farmer Chen, how old are you? And he stopped, he said, maybe 72? I don't remember. So I would say this year he is maybe 76-ish. But anyway, for in these recent years, our teacher, Mr. Zhang, and some of the people, that I meet, go visit every single year, and particularly Mr. Zhang's health is not for a while, for many years has not been very good, and and not just him, that I actually have to think, well, what if there are other people that since Farmer Chen also is his age is on the older side. That I have to think sometimes, like what if,
Yeah.
And there was a very there was a very heavy feeling. What if? And when I think about them, I was just like, are they my family? Not really. Can I call them my friends? I am not sure. For sure, all of them are my teachers, because I go back to them every single year. And some we directly call teachers. And even though like Farmer Chen or some other farmers, I don't call them teachers directly, but I always look up at them like they are my teachers because they teach me tea in their own ways when I show up, right? Tea drinking or tea harvesting and that kind of stuff. And so, but it's like even though I cannot call them my friends or my family, but somehow they have that kind of feelings. It's like a family feeling, and it's like a friend feeling actually, which is like very unique.
Yeah.
And so anyway, this year, you were in Taiwan to learn and to source tea, and I have to arrange some contacts for you to contact them. And so when I contact Mr. Chai to arrange the trip for you guys to go up to Pinning to see Farmer Chen, and he just suddenly to send me a message and say Mr. Chen had a stroke. Yeah, and that was really rough on me.
Yeah, I remember. It's shocking, but I went up to go visit him. And he is actually really healthy.
Yeah. I actually, so Noah made him go on a messenger with me on his phone.
I did a little video call, and he looks great. He looks great, and he's talking just fine.
Yeah,
his memory was affected a little bit, though.
Yeah, he couldn't remember me. But I was not sure if he couldn't remember me or because he was very amazed with the technology. He had to stop and keep telling me, or tell him no. I say, am I really talking to somebody in America?
Yeah, he's like, is this a recording? Is this a recording?
Yeah. So
you mean that she's right here, right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was just delightful. I think his brain, was impacted because he kept telling me his grades in school were very good.
And then his teas won a lot of competitions. He just kept saying that.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And I think he repeated that 5 times to me. And it was just very cute and very sweet. And so anyway, the news was so shocking. But the moment when I saw his face on the messenger chat, there was a relief because he looked well. He looked well.
Yeah, he looks good. He's just hanging out.
Yeah.
and his son completely took over the tea making. Like his son is in charge of the tea making now.
Yeah.
We call him Chen Jr.
Chen Jr.
And Chen Jr. is a great tea maker. He's actually been making the Baozhong. He's been doing most of the work for maybe a few seasons now.
Yeah.
But this season, his dad really didn't have the capacity to help too much, so he's like in charge, and I think he made something really good. There's like a new energy in the tea now. Maybe because it's a young person that's really in charge of it at this point. I don't know, but whatever it is, I think he did a great job, and he has his dad's sense of experimentation. I just remember the first time that I met Mr. Chen, Farmer Chen Sr. He took us out to go see a bunch of these plants that he's growing in his backyard and telling us about stuff and try new things. And his son this year made this really interesting tea, black tea, made like they call it honey fragrant black tea. But he used Buddha hand cultivar. And it's I think it tastes great, and it's also just super unique and new.
Yeah. Farmer Chen Senior. It's very he liked to experiment with plants and with different kinds of processing. So he will try. I mean, he still majorly make oolong tea, but he like try to make black tea. He tried Buddha hand, and he tried Buddha hand also roll style, which for Baozhong farmer, they don't know how to roll tea as well. So I think for a while he was actually he will process the tea, and he commissioned people to roll the tea for him. And I will say he's very proud at what he could do, but yet at the same time, he is very humble. Because when I show up to buy tea with them, and Mr. Chai normally will show up to meet me as well, and then once a while I will hear them discussing maybe how to roast a certain tea, and so he will ask Mr. Chai's opinion, and then want to pick up what he could say also in the process. So I feel like it's like he feel like he's still learning, like the things he doesn't know, he doesn't mind to learn either. And I really appreciate that. Yeah. So second infusion feels more open and brighter for me. Still more like fruit to me than flower. Yeah, and I think seriously the broth is richer than a lot of Baozhongs that I drank in the past. Excellent season, people. If you would like to try Baozhong this season, I think it's one of the best seasons for Baozhong tea.
Yeah,
really solid,
sure.
really solid. And they just like I said earlier, it's something extra about it. It's something extra. Yeah, when the weather really like just like show up a little bit better, or even like perfect for the region, people drink the tea.
Yeah.
and there's always like extra sweetness when I drink their Baozhong tea, because it always made me think of Farmer Chen and the wife, because how nice and how friendly and generous they are. Yeah. How many infusions have you been drinking?
I drank 3 infusions.
I just kept talking to that. I forgot that I think I only talked about 2 infusions so far. But hey, you know what? What the heck? No need to count infusions. Today it's just
overall, it's a really solid tea this season. This is I've said this 1,000 times in the podcast. This is the first tea I tasted from you. Oh. The first floating leaves tea that I tasted was Farmer's Choice Baozhong.
Oh, really?
Back when I worked at the Baozhong, I maybe haven't said it super clearly to you. I don't know, but
no, I think that's as my son puts it. My memory has a serious problem.
It's like Swiss cheese.
What does that mean?
There's like holes in it. No, but there's this is the first tea that I tasted from you. It was when I worked at the Vashon Island tea shop.
Oh, yeah. And they were buying that tea.
She was buying this tea from you, yeah. Yeah, and I tasted it and I was like, oh, who's this tea from? This is great.
Yeah. Now I remember. I think you can tell me that story 20 times and I still can't remember which tea you drank from me first. I think I will only remember what is that? You wanted to buy charcoal roast dongding, and I always say I was out of stock.
Yeah,
that's one. And
that was early on. No, I when I first came into the shop, I was asking about Pu'er, I think.
Yeah, and then I let you drink the 大雪山, and then you start to learn about throat sensation, and then you will drink the tea until you fall on the floor.
Yes.
At home.
Yeah, and that same session you introduced me to charcoal dongding. That's why I kept asking about it later on. Is because you introduced me to charcoal dongding, and then you were talking about the throat sensation, and then went back home, but I didn't buy charcoal dongding. I bought the pour. So I was trying to figure it out from there, which was misguided, but yeah. But anyway, the very first floating leaves tea that I ever drank was this one, actually.
Wow. You should tell Farmer Chen.
I did. I told him. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I don't want to waste the tea. So at least I have to do 3 infusions tonight.
Sounds good. Also, I thought it was funny. I wrote about it in the description of this tea, but
So sweet.
Mama Chen, Farmer Chen's wife, Mama Chen, told her son to go and spray the tea plants with fertilizers and things. And it's really far away, this plot of land, so he didn't want to. He didn't want to walk all the way up there. It's like up on a hill, kind of far away from their house. So he didn't.
That's awesome.
So, a lot of teas, like when we say conventional, it's actually a pretty broad range of how much it's been treated with any kind of fertilizers or pesticides or anything. This one was sprayed once in the very beginning of the season and never sprayed again. So it feels really clean.
Yeah. This year feels really good. And when we get the moment, we should gently suggest them.
Just don't.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Don't spray.
This is the way. Yeah. This is the way to do it. To make tea taste better and cleaner.
Yeah.
So,
I think generally they're not big sprayers, that family. From what I've talked to you about before, it sounds like they spray when they feel like they need to do it to help the plant survive, but other than that, they don't. But this season, I think it was an extra layer of laziness, not wanting to go up.
That's
not
awesome.
wanting to walk up to the plot of land. I thought that was really funny.
It once again confirmed that theory. When you see a negative thing, sometimes it turns out to be a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nothing is that black and white and absolute. Yeah. Yeah. Super rich tea this year. Something extra going on. Yeah.
Feels really good. It feels clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the competition style, I actually don't have any in Seattle. I almost want to ask you to bring me back some. I would like to try it again because that day when I brewed it for a customer, it was like extra good. Surprised me.
It's
actually
really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
really good.
And I was like, wow, this season is really good. So I should like drink it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. And so Farmer Chen Senior also he grow like what is that? He grow some cassia plants.
Yes.
Is that cassia?
Yeah.
肉桂.
肉桂, cassia.
Yeah.
Related to cinnamon.
I actually have I actually have a funny story because he actually grow like many different plants, like tea varietals, in his yard, not in the tea field. Each tea field has a specific varietal, but he will grow like different plants in his yard, and then tea plants, and he will say, "Oh, that's that varietal." It's kind of like just like you say, he like to experiment with plants and stuff. And then one day they say, "Oh, that's a 肉桂 plant," and I just assumed it was tea.
Yeah, if you're familiar with Wu cliff tea cultivars, 肉桂 is a cultivar of cliff tea.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite style of Wu cliff tea. It's actually 肉桂. And so when they said that, I was like, wow, you have that plant here? How cool is that? And they asked me to just pick a leaf, and which I did, and I smell it, and it smells so strong.
You probably don't remember. I was there that day.
Really?
There that day, and you said, smell this. It smells. This is 肉桂 tea plant. My Chinese was like not anything at that point. I could barely speak Chinese. You said, this is 肉桂 tea, like from We Cultivar tea plant. And then you let me smell it, and I was like, oh my God, it smells just like cinnamon. This is crazy.
Yeah,
And then
and
you
I
asked
was
him.
just like, no wonder they named the tea plant 肉桂. Wow, that's amazing. And then they were just like, that's a 肉桂 plant.
Yeah. It's
I felt pretty dumb that day. And then, but anyway, Mr. Chen will make a, how do you call it, liquor?
yeah, like some kind of wine. It's not super strong. It's like some kind of liquor, yeah.
Yeah, from those 肉桂 leaves or something.
Yeah.
And then he will give us a couple of bottles. I think our friend Jack also have a bottle or two, and David, all people who went there maybe all have a bottle. I don't know. But anyway, last time we brought back a bottle, and then Noah will drink it every single night, just a small shot with a meal, and then we'll always chill it at like salute to Mr. Chen.
Yeah, cheers to your health, Mr. Chen.
Yeah.
Sui.
And did you tell him that?
No, I didn't tell him that.
Yeah. So today with this cup of Baozhong tea, I'm going to raise it and aim it at pinning, even though I don't know which direction I'm supposed to aim it at. My sense of direction is really bad, by the way. But it's to him and health to Mr. Chen and to his family.
Cheers to your health, Mr. Chen.
Yeah. Cheers. And cheers to all my family and my special family, my friends and my special style of friends. Also health to all of them, because Taiwan is lockdown right now, and I pray for Taiwan every single day. Hopefully they can get out of it soon.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that. And for those of you who really enjoy Noah's stories in Dongting Mountain, if you have a moment, please either check our recent IG post, Instagram
I
post,
posted
or
on
Facebook.
IG. I posted on Facebook. I actually posted on the blog on our website as well. I don't know if you know that.
Oh no!
Because I wrote the whole thing. I thought might as well put it up on the blog. So it's up in all those places. I wrote a story of me and my special friend, Mr. Su.
Yeah. If you have a moment, please read it. It's a really wonderful story, and through stories, I do believe, even though many of you cannot meet these farmers, in some ways, you feel like you can see them and kind of know them. And it really brings in a very special closeness, especially when you are drinking their teas. And I strongly believe in that. That's why I love to recount the stories that we have with them. These people are very special humans. And I think through the stories, you have a glimpse of who they are, and that shows in their tea too. Yeah, so please read it. And also, as we mentioned earlier on, Noah is coming back to Seattle. And after he comes back, he will need a little bit small break. And then we are hoping that with him back into the shop to help again, then we can really nail down some schedules for some of you guys to arrange private tea tastings with us.
Yes.
Our shop is too small to have people walk in and to have people sit down there to have tea at this moment. But we love to connect with you that way again. And so there will be some schedules for private tea tastings. And we are hoping to be back online too, because not everybody can come to the shop in Seattle, and we love to connect with you too. So stay tuned for our future live tasting sessions over the net.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's it for today.
Sounds good.
Huh?
Yeah.
So we are going to raise this last cup of tea to all of you out there who connect with us, who support us. Health to all of you. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we'll see you on Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.